Today we're joined by a mother who turned her journey into a movement. Sisanda Maqina is the founder of Autistic, Gifted and Awesome, a platform redefining how we see autism across Africa, shifting the narrative from limitation to possibility. Through her lived experience with her daughter Tapelo, she reminds us that our children are not broken, but they are uniquely gifted and worthy of understanding, support and celebration. As we mark World Autism Awareness Month, this conversation is especially meaningful for us as mothers raising autistic children. Welcome to the Motherhood Network, a platform you deserve. Are we rolling?
Are we rolling?
Okay, action. Welcome to the Motherhood Network.
Why, thank you, Nandi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Sisanda. I do want to let anyone watching this know that, Sisanda, you are such a vibe. We're going to have a great time as
We
well.
are.
It's Autism Awareness Month. And I think
Yes.
what's beautiful is that, yes, as much as there are real challenges,
Yes.
we also need to celebrate our kids.
Absolutely.
We are both autism moms.
Yes, we are. Fly
Not
moms
bad,
at
eh?
that.
Right? And yes, we've gone through so much. We still continue to go through so much. But I think something that's so important as well is that we have our beautiful kids, these incredible kids, and to celebrate them as well.
Mm,
But we're gonna go through the journeys, the
Sure.
ups and downs, because that is the
That is
reality
definitely the
for
reality.
any child,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yes, the moments. Let's start at the
Ding, ding,
very beginning.
ding.
Ding, ding, ding. How
Sure.
did you know that something was happening with your child or
Mm,
that something was different from maybe a neurotypical child and just thought, oh, I need to check what's happening
mm.
here with my beautiful, beautiful daughter who we all love so much?
So yeah, I had noticed at around infancy because I breastfed exclusively until about 9 months, and then switched over. And when we switched over to bottle, even with the toy, she'll pick up a toy. And she did this motion where she would tap with her index finger.
Okay.
So initially I dismissed it, thinking it's maybe a developmental sensory thing that she's doing.
Sure.
Didn't pay much mind to it. I let it go. So at about 9 months, and also all the milestones, she was within range, her developmental milestones. So there was really nothing to compare and say, maybe this is something really, really big that I need to focus in on. So she's within the range. She crawled when she needed to. She sat within the range, starts walking. Now that's when the jig was up.
Okay. Why is that?
Because when she started walking in around 13 months, she walked on her TP toes and earned herself that nickname because we call her Tappy TP Toes.
Oh, sweet. I love that.
So and then I realized,
Yes.
wait a minute, there's something here. And I did the one thing that a lot of parents don't do it.
Mm.
And, went on to Dr. Google and went on a deep rabbit hole dive. I stayed up
Mm.
all night and this information just kept flooding at me, and it like was showcasing the worst case scenarios of what this could be. So my anxiety levels are up here.
Mm.
And then, but fortunately, also we've got my uncle who's a pediatrician specialist,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
and over and above, like some of the stuff that she would do. So let's say we'd go to a birthday party.
Mm.
She's what, maybe 1.5, we're headed toward 2 now. We'd go to a birthday party. She will, there's maybe a jumping castle. There's a lot happening at this birthday. Then she will come. The other kids would come in, shoo, straight out the car onto any of the things that are happening at the
Yeah.
party. It'd be the sweet table, it'd be the trampoline or jumping castle. The kids are out there. Tappy is way right next to me and comfortably sitting there. She'll find if maybe there's another person. She's obsessed with sequins. I
Mm.
remember the one lady, she just stuck to this woman and she was
Yes.
just like playing with this bag.
Yes.
Again, that index finger, playing with this bag and just working on the sequence. So my uncle was a pediatrician specialist, and you know how, you coming from a doctor's family. So he tried in, the best way to sort of encouraged me without really scaring me to say, maybe we should get her checked out. And he played an amazing part in facilitating that, introduced us to the amazing Dr. Mbata. And, she's a specialist with neurodevelopmental pediatrician space. And we started with her and we started the journey with Dr. Mbata at 2 years.
Sure. So you got it quite
We caught
early,
it quite
and she
early.
got her diagnosis early
Got
as
her
well.
diagnosis
Sure.
early. So she was
Yeah.
2, and Dr. Mbata said she did there for the full assessment, which is like a 90-minute assessment. Nuns, they will dig up your ancestors' lineage in that
Yes.
90-minute.
Please know this. Those forms, there's at least 400 pages to that. And then you're like, what was your great, 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 great grandfather like?
Yes.
And did he have this or sensory issues or that? And you're like,
And your
I
brain
don't
is
know.
going zit, zit. And I don't know.
No.
But that's also what kind of got me thinking. In Black
Mm,
families, or I don't know, maybe it's not
mm,
just a racial thing with just us.
mm.
I don't believe we have the lineage conversations to try
No.
and ascertain where some of, and especially because autism has been this dirty secret.
Yes.
And I believe, we're slowly transitioning out of that phase, which I'm
Yes.
very grateful for.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a very
You say
deep
such a
seed for me.
valid point where for us now, the future generations,
Mm.
to understand this, because it's always been there.
Yeah.
And also that the genetic component is a big component. Like when
Mm.
I was doing those forms, all of a sudden I'm like, oh yeah, see this nalo, konje na, aibo,
Yeah.
kantumzala, or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it was great for me, and I'm sure you
Mm.
had a similar experience
Mm.
where you're actually looking at yourself
Yeah.
or parts of yourself or
Yes.
your family
Yes.
and saying, oh, is this
Yes.
neurodivergency? Or is this a sensory issue?
Yes.
Or if you only like white foods, perhaps,
Mm.
oh, that's a sensory.
Mm.
Oh, you tiptoe walker.
Yes.
Oh, you're not just introverted. This
Mm.
is
Mm.
possibly, not always,
Not always. True. True.
autism or
Yeah.
signs of autism.
But I mean, I must say, it was very daunting.
Yes.
I mean, I had the inclination at the back of my mind that
Mm,
something is different about my child.
mm.
And you know how you would do it? You'd compare your kid, not in an ugly way, but like
No.
just to see. Umntaka yena by 2, ebeka.
Mm,
Umntaka bani by 2, beka.
mm,
So I was doing those little, unchecked check-ins
mm.
where she's at. And it really did become a bit scary. And I remember I I just I think I fell into a depression.
Yeah.
I really did fall into a depression,
Mm.
but there was light at the end of the tunnel. We can see train. So
Yes.
and that is what I appreciate about speaking, especially around autism, and not just sort of blocking it into awareness. Gqithile ngoku awareness. We
Mm.
talk acceptance.
Acceptance.
Yes.
That is so important. And I think also just for any parent watching this, look, like I said, we autism moms,
Yeah.
we're mothers to incredible autistic kids, our daughters, but it is a process
Mm, mm,
emotionally.
mm.
It's tough, guys. Like it is tough getting that diagnosis.
Listen.
You will cry. You'll go through the emotions because you don't know what does this mean for my child, their
Yes.
future.
Yes.
What do I do?
Mm,
But what I can tell you, acceptance
yeah.
is the most important thing. And I mean, for example, and I think we're both the same in that the minute we found out, it was like, okay, this is it.
Yes.
I know I went publicly to let
Mm,
people know, so there
mm,
was even more awareness, but most
mm,
importantly, as you're
mm.
saying, acceptance
Yeah.
that there are kids who are autistic. Let
Mm,
us love them. They
mm,
will do incredible things. Yes, it's a struggle.
mm.
Yes, there's all of these different challenges as
Sure.
well. But yes, there are incredible minds, and to
Yes.
work with that. We're going to delve into that though, because
Sure.
it
Let's.
does manifest in different ways. And
It
I think
does.
that's also something that
Yes.
a lot of people don't speak about.
Mm.
So, from your perspective, and obviously you doing the work, just in terms of your organization,
Yes.
for me, a big, big thing, and I know this is a frustration for a lot of parents, is where people say, "No, I khululeka uzokhuluma," or "I khululeka uzokwazi I don't know, shove in
Bicycle.
bicycle or whatever." You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And I think what I'd like to say, because this is a safe space, this
Mm.
podcast, is that your child will have their own challenges.
Yes.
And they'll have all these incredible things as well, you know, as well. That's what they always say, when you've seen one autistic kid, it
You've
is literally
seen one.
autistic kid, you know.
Yeah.
And so some children may never speak.
Yes.
They may be fully nonverbal for the rest of their lives. And to work with that, you
Yeah.
know, we have things like the letterboard.
Yes.
Some people, it's an AAC device, you know, these keyboards. Some kids become fully verbal, some
Yes.
minimally verbal,
Correct.
some unreliably verbal. Some children also from a physical perspective will have a lot more challenges than other children, you know. Some kids can go to mainstream, some kids remedial, some special needs. And I think to normalize that, you know,
Absolutely.
but they can still thrive
Yes.
within what they've been given.
They still can function.
Yes.
And I think just on that note, Nandi, is that I had to teach myself that as a parent, that my child is, number one, a child. So there's this notion that just because your child is on the spectrum, you know, it's suddenly different. No, no, no. A 2-year-old is still a 2-year-old.
Yes.
Who's dote
Yes.
and very challenging.
Yes.
And their personalities are growing and they're becoming and they're getting into their own being.
Yes.
So there's all of that development, you know, that developmental process. That's still them. That's still there.
Yeah.
Right? Then there's the other elements, right? And then, but also the most critical for me, and I always say this to the parents who find me on socials through this work, you know, speaking openly about it, is that if you don't accept your child's diagnosis, the way your child is, because it's a sensory sensitivity, you sitting there very, you know, tight-lipped about it, and it's manifesting in its energies. Because remember, your thoughts become evident to your child, your emotions. You can't hide anything. You know, I call them the special ops.
Yes.
Because anything, Tappy, I walk in and I've had like a rough day. She's gonna come, Nandi, and she's gonna come and stroke me on my shoulder. Mommy, are you okay?
How do they just know? There's something incredible about
Listen.
autistic kids.
And
They
we've
can
had,
just feel
they feel
you.
it.
Yeah.
So that's why I say you can't conceal emotion when you are raising a child who's on the spectrum. So acceptance for me is right at the door. You have got to accept that your child is different. And different is no less. You've just got to find ways on how to accommodate your child's needs, equip your child with the necessary tools to grow. Because kaloku nabo funeke bekhulile and be part of society.
Yes.
You know, Tappy has been my mentor. The most fascinating thing has happened, Nandi, where literally I am being raised by my 10-year-old.
Amazing.
Because all of the things we get caught up on, oh, banbazotini, you know, if I act like this, what is going to happen? I mean, I remember even when life kicked me in the front teeth a good couple of years ago, and I just had this thing that was like wearing me down and almost like a personality alteration. My 20s, and I was like, people were always like, oh no, you are just too much. Oh no, now sweetheart, Tepe has taught me. What is the measure of too much?
What is the measure?
What is the measure of too much? That's on you. Your opinion of me doesn't define me, because that's what Tapelo has taught me.
Yes.
She is unbothered by who she is and her diagnosis. In fact, I look at her and I go, wow, please give me some of your DNA.
Some of that. And
she's
you're right,
so self-assured in who she is. She's like, Ndimlo.
Yes.
And I don't think she sees herself as being autistic. She's like, this is who I am, and this is who I am. Onengxaki aginye. Ungasa, hayi, asisapheleli. Hayi, ayiphelelisi.
That's so powerful. And you're right. I love that. One thing about autistic kids is that it's only if you trying to make them aware that there's something.
Yes.
But they're in their own world and they love that world.
They love their world.
You know what I'm saying? And like and let them celebrate that as well, which I
Yeah.
love. And it's so powerful. Even for their autonomy. I think something else I wanted to bring up is you know, you hear a lot of stories of people locking up their children or saying that, you know, this diagnosis is witchcraft or something happened. And I think we need to dispel those myths. I think that's very important. Yes, it is so important. There have been autistic kids from the beginning of time. It's just a different way of thinking. Neurodivergency is a different way of thinking and being, you know. The biggest thing that I always tell other mothers, and I don't know if you can attest to this, is that have them go out there and live their best life. Now, with this said, we are aware
Yes.
what autism looks like,
Yes.
as in
Yes.
there's the potty training issues,
Correct.
right, which are a real thing.
Mm.
The squeals,
Mm.
the meltdowns.
The
I know
meltdowns.
any parent who has an autistic kid, and those meltdowns, you can never be prepared. And so many other things, the sensory issues as well, you know,
Yes.
blocking of the
Yes.
ears.
The
One
light.
day it'll be perfect. You went out and,
Yes.
oh my gosh, this was amazing. The next day, it all crumbles and it's like, what just happened? And of course, we're human as well as
Sure.
parents. We have our anxieties. You think,
Mm.
oh my gosh, uNkulunkulu,
Ngenzani?
please.
Bengiyaphi moya engcwele?
Why?
Why me?
Why me? Why? Why me? And there's moments where you're like, oh, that was amazing, you know? But you go with it.
Yeah.
You know, a big thing as well is, I don't know if you like this, and I feel like you are.
Yes.
Guys, especially as a man, guys, laugh with it. Be like,
No.
yo, I get feel.
Yeah,
And laugh. Because that's what life is
it?
about. It's saying, look, we're in this thing.
And I change.
No,
This is your life.
this is
This
your
is
life.
your narrative, ma'am. This
So
is
this
the
is it.
serving you got. The best you can do is go, "Thixo wam, undenzani?" What was this? Like you
Yes.
wrote, you literally wrote.
Yes.
There's times I sit and I go, "Wasibhala wena iscript sam?
Yes.
Wayibhala incwadi yam yobomi bam?" And this was the chapter you were like, this like buzichaza now we're high-fiving yourself. Nabo Moses pha bonke, like, yes, gosh, she's gonna have an autistic child. For ntoni? Then you realize, you know what?
It is
There was
such a
something
gift.
that-
Yes,
Yes,
it is
it's a
such a gift. The biggest gift. No one lie. And you're so right, because you'll be getting that diagnosis and you're like,
Yeah.
how? But Fitz, why me?
And you cry.
And what am I gonna do?
You are here.
And
Yeah.
But you know, there's something powerful about being a parent. Now you're like, why not me?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
I'm like, actually,
Mm.
this makes sense.
This was the great plan.
Because I'm the one person who will take this on. God has
Yes.
given me everything I
Yes,
need.
yes.
You are the one person who can take this on. God
Yes.
has given you everything you
Yeah.
need. I will say to mothers and fathers and guardians in general, please, guys, normalize. I know the meltdowns are bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad. Unless if your child doesn't want to, of course.
Yes.
But please have them be outside. You know,
Mm-mm.
my daughter's outside, guys.
No.
Like, and everyone knows her.
Yes.
Everyone understands
Yes.
now, as in the places that she usually
That you are,
goes to.
yes.
And they understand what it means to be autistic.
Absolutely.
And I think that's built her confidence, you know. Even
Yes.
from a social perspective, it helps a lot of children.
Mm.
Listen, when we feel like, oh, the meltdown's coming,
coming.
5, 4, 3, 2. So thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you so much. No, we'll pay for the bill now. Yeah. No, right now. Yeah.
Someone is paying for the bill.
I don't need to
And you're
finish.
out.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not going to finish. Take away, please. But those are the realities. And I think it just helps them to navigate the world.
does.
Because something also is, we're not going to be here forever,
No.
right?
I mean, first of all, kudos to the places we take our kids to and they're accommodative and understanding.
Yes, thank
I
you.
mean, Tabby loves going to our local spa.
Oh, wow.
Nans, I tell you, she walks in right at the door. Hello, everybody. And those women, those tellers, bless their hearts,
Yes.
they almost stop the show and go, hello, Tabby. And then we
love
go in,
that.
we
Mm,
shop,
mm,
we do our things. But also, I must say,
mm.
we've been very fortunate that she doesn't have meltdowns, but her response to sometimes being overly stimulated is just for her volume to just go higher. So, shops, do us a favor. Sometimes just play that music a little lower because there's a lot happening in these poor brains. The lights, the sounds, the trolleys, the scuffling of our feet, the tills opening and closing, the tellers punching in, it's beeping, it's flashing. There's a lot happening. So sometimes it's just an issue of even extending the understanding of these children and just playing the music a little lower. Because then that's what I realized. When I take Tappy to spa, she's yelling because she's overly stimulated because there's a lot happening. And the
Absolutely.
music is the one thing she'll probably measure where she takes a sound
Mm,
to, and then she speaks louder and she sings along.
sure.
And the
Yeah.
experience is not always great, because then you'll find, some other person that's irritable and they're entitled to be irritated, but never shush another person's child.
Oh, yes.
Do you know how many times, Nandi, I'm almost like people about to catch hands,
Mm,
but
mm.
because, asifuna ukuboshwa.
Yes.
So we draw ourselves.
That's such a
But yeah.
that's actually such an important point. I know a lot of parents watching this who have autistic kids. I mean, and yes, every autistic kid is different.
Mm.
So, for example, when an autistic kid is excited or
Yes.
maybe feeling overwhelmed,
Yes.
you'll hear the squeals,
Yes.
the screaming,
Mm.
the crying,
Mm.
and I think that's important as well. And so, for people, I don't mind anyone looking, but
Sure.
it's to understand that, okay,
Yes.
this is an autistic kid. And that's why I was
Correct.
just saying, if you can, dear parents, I know it's tough, but just to have your kids go out
Mm.
more,
Mm.
obviously if they are willing to, and the reason why
Yes.
is just to normalize what autism
Absolutely.
is,
Yeah.
so then people see it and they
And they're
identify,
like,
so,
oh,
oh, there's an autistic kid, okay,
yes.
cool, and they carry on
And
with
life
what they're
goes
doing
on.
and life goes on. And I think that's important. If we can just normalize what autism
Yes.
is,
Yes.
how it looks like, educate people,
Mm.
neurotypical and
Mm.
neurodivergent, and you see there's a lot of, yes, you'll always have negative people,
Sure.
that's with any child,
Mm.
but you see a lot of people who are actually willing to learn and they say,
Yes.
oh, okay, what is that? Oh, is that a fidget? Oh,
Yes.
does that help them? Oh, they need
Yes.
deep What's deep
Mm.
pressure?
Mm.
Oh, when your child is squealing, they're feeling overwhelmed. Or,
Yes.
oh, they're really excited. Oh, is that how?
Mm.
Oh, when they do different stims, with their
Yes.
hands or whatever the case may be.
Mm.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, they're still wearing a nappy because
Mm.
they're not yet potty trained. Oh, that's a sensory
That's
issue. Or
yes.
this is happening. Or there's apraxia. And we are going to share all this information below as well
Yes.
so parents can see from a
Sure.
medical perspective. But even that, like apraxia, for example, isn't
Mm.
spoken about a lot.
Mm.
And autistic apraxia, where obviously the body's doing something else to
Correct.
what and just communication from the
From the
mind,
mind, yeah.
in terms of speech as well.
Yes.
So there's just a miscommunication as a whole. So a child
Yes.
knows what they want to say,
Yes.
but it's
Absolutely.
hard for them to do that. Or
Yes.
from a physical perspective,
Yes.
maybe they know they want to ride the bike
Mm.
or swim, or whatever
Mm.
the case may be, but it's just really hard for them. And that's the disability, for
Yes.
example.
And here's
Yeah.
the thing that makes it even more challenging, and is
Mm.
that the brain functions.
Yes.
Because sometimes parents think, just because my child is nonverbal, their brain is not functioning.
Yes.
It's their IQ. Your child not speaking is not a measure of their IQ.
No.
So the brain, if you can just imagine, your brain knows exactly what it wants.
Mm.
It's just not getting that transmission
Yes.
of what the brain wants to say, to
Yes.
now physically say. Can you imagine the frustration
The
in
frustration.
that child?
Oh my goodness. It's a motor planning issue, as you're saying. And it's so important for us parents because there
Mm.
isn't enough information, I've noticed, even in the country,
Mm.
particularly like we're talking about, for example, apraxia
Mm.
within kids who are autistic, where, you'll find even speech therapists where they'll say, no, your kid may talk in the next 2-3 years. And it's
Sure.
like, the truth is, some
May.
kids, as we said
Yeah.
earlier, may never be
Never.
able to speak,
Yeah.
but will be able, in terms of from a verbal perspective,
Mm.
but in terms of communication, they'll be
Mm.
able to communicate with,
Yes.
you know, whatever the case may be, a keyboard,
Yes.
saying,
Correct.
and that's important, that
Mm.
we empower people to understand that it manifests in different
Mm.
ways. But
Mm.
from a cognitive perspective, and obviously this is a generalization,
Sure.
the kids are fine. In
Checked
fact,
in.
they're highly intelligent. And I'm going to share a few books as well
Mm.
on our screen that you can
Mm.
read that will really empower those, also the kids who are nonverbal, because
Yes.
a lot of parents get really frustrated who have nonverbal kids and think maybe their kids aren't thinking, and then get
Mm.
shocked
Mm.
once their children have access to those different kinds of communication and say,
They're like,
what? You can say this? As in you can spell
yes.
this?
Yes.
This is you?
Yes.
I had no idea this
And
was
guess
what
what?
was happening in your mind.
The brilliant mind,
The
that
most
brilliant
brilliant
mind
mind.
has always been
Absolutely.
there. Can't
Absolutely.
be nazo tools
Yes.
accessible to our children.
Yes.
But I mean, it is an expensive journey, and I'm hoping, I'm hoping we all can come to the party. in terms of school fees, in terms of the tools that some of the nonverbal kids need, all of the mechanics to get our children somewhere. Yeah. But maybe that's a topic for another day.
I think it's
But yeah.
you're absolutely right, and thank you for highlighting it. I mean, yes, you are right. It is a topic for another day, but one we can touch on.
Mm,
That is the reality where,
mm,
and that was actually my next point from a financial perspective.
yeah.
It is so unfair and such a burden on parents,
Mm,
guardians. It
mm.
just from
It is.
therapy to therapy to therapy, whether
Yeah.
it's occupational therapy, speech therapy,
Mm,
physio,
mm.
whatever the case may be. It it is quite a journey, and I think that's what frustrates so many people. You hear even of couples separating because of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That financial strain is
Mm.
such a real
No, it's
thing.
real.
And I always say, and I'm not saying that I am right in any way, once you get that diagnosis from your doctor, please
Sure.
to ask them for enough information
Yes.
about how you can regulate your kid
Yeah.
at home and what you can do at home if you have
Absolutely.
no access to those funds. It's
Yes.
really expensive.
No, it is.
I wish to share also some pages, social media pages with professionals, which we
Mm,
will here, where
mm.
you can watch their videos. Not everyone, only
Yes.
professionals, qualified
Yes.
people who do share some stuff. Because I've learned a
Fantastic.
lot as well from their
Mm.
pages, where you have a qualified speech therapist or
Sure.
qualified occupational
Mm.
therapist or physio
Oh,
showing
that's
you,
great.
yeah,
Yeah.
what to do. And I think because it's not everyone who can afford these
It's true.
things, guys, it is ridiculous. Even for people who can afford, ngifuna ukutshela-ke
Yes.
bafethu,
Please.
you're buying a Lamborghini every month with these therapies. Who can afford that?
There's,
At least actually 2 Lamborghinis a month. That's what these therapies
there's a
are.
family friend who actually said, because we're just like, they were out of curiosity,
Yes,
like what is, and I mean, of course, I mean, you can only just give a range
yes.
because you don't want to shock people, but also you don't want people processing with how, so
Yes.
we mindful.
Yeah.
So I gave a range. And my friend's husband, literally like nearly falling off the chair,
Yes.
was like, Sisanda, utengi Ferrari when every month to have this kid.
True.
And then people, gracious, bless my family soul. And then people are like, when are you having another one?
After buying Ferraris. Huh?
After this
This is-
Ferrari per month. Guys, well, I say no pooper man.
And that's
One
such a
and
real
only.
thing.
Done.
That is such a real thing. And and as well, just on that topic with finances as well,
Sure.
there are tax specialists as well who specialize with special needs kids
Yes.
or kids on the spectrum. And I think that's important to say as well. In no
Mm,
way a professional,
mm,
obviously.
mm.
But I think that's important that if you can research the right people, as in
Yeah.
someone who understands
Yeah.
that, because there's a lot that you can get back.
Yes.
Yes, also there's grants as well,
Mm,
disability grants as
mm,
well.
mm.
But I think when it comes to government, that's
Yes.
important to know there's disability grants. Obviously, if there's someone maybe going to private school, you
Mm,
can get
mm.
some compensation from a tax
Correct.
perspective.
Correct.
And I think that's important for people to know
It
because
is.
I didn't know that
I
at all.
same.
Huh?
I was what? Tappy was maybe 8.
Yeah.
How many Ferraris later?
How many Ferraris later? Guys, how many Ferraris later?
Had me on chokehold this
Yes.
thing. But also, and as you're saying, that
Mm.
we've got to also be very careful. Do the research. Find
Yes.
these disability tax advisors.
Mm.
And just do your due diligence
Yes.
to ensure that you're not just finding somebody randomly who says they'll be able to assist.
And they can't.
And they can't.
Yes, and I think also
And you
just
run
to
at a
check with the
greater loss.
doctor. Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. With the doctor who obviously is in this industry, maybe neurodevelopmentalist
Yes.
may know, or the school.
The school.
Usually the schools do know the
Yes.
right people as well. That's so important because, ding, ding, ding,
Yeah.
even your therapist.
Ferrari.
Absolutely. A lot of parents have even said where, you'll have people who are saying, yes, I can help your child, but it's more like a money-making scheme.
Yes.
And a lot of therapists even say themselves that just be careful. Not
Yeah.
everyone is here because they really want to help your child.
But also on that
Yeah.
note about therapy, Nandi,
Yes.
I mean, I got to a place where it's a single financial household. So
Mm.
I'm the primary caregiver to my
Yes.
daughter.
Yes.
And so I had to also have the voice to say to the school and the therapist, I can't afford to do OT and speech.
Yes.
So
Choose.
let's alternate.
Yes.
This month we'll do occupational therapy. Next month we do speech. And then we take a break.
I love
Because
that.
local life is also happening.
Yes.
Funeka ugodukile, something happens, there's a
Yes.
death, there's a ntoni. You can't get home and go, hayi kaloku mna ndingumama oreyisa umntana kwi-spectrum. Sisi, i-contribution yakho iyafuneka ekhaya. Don't tell us about your spectrum kid. And some people are looking at you like, what is she talking about?
Such a
If
real
la
thing.
contribution yakhe, please, because now
Yes.
we couldn't buy meal because we're not
Yeah.
going to make contribution.
Yes.
Because life happens.
Yes.
You know, things are happening in your life. This is breaking down. It needs to be changed. And one of our the priest that actually baptized her had a funny thing, just off topic. He then said, in mid-sermon, I don't know, I can't even remember what the sermon was about specifically, but he then says, life doesn't happen like they demonstrated in the action movies. Because, there's Ani there, they come, they kick, and then the other one goes away, and another one that comes, punches, and another one goes. He's like, no, life doesn't happen like that. And I feel like as a mom raising a kid on the spectrum, all of the bad things are happening all at the same time. It's not like Ngogo, I can go, I can see that when he's about to kick me and it happens. It's a kick, it's a punch, it's a stab, it's a all of it at the same time. So, but you've got to then have that voice. Know that as a parent, you are able to ask the schools that I know my child needs all of these, but can we stagger them?
Sure.
And I found talking to parents, they've actually never thought to say,
No.
it's too much.
Well, I'm hearing this as well. I
Yeah.
love that idea as well. And thank you so much for sharing that
Yeah.
as well. I think also just with therapists as well, I had a therapist who said something which was very empowering, where they said, the most powerful therapist is yourself.
Absolutely.
As a primary caregiver or as a parent, guardian, whatever the case may be. But it's actually yourself. So watch what I'm doing and learn.
Yes.
And then take that and then obviously do it
Implement
at home,
at
or wherever
home.
it's implemented at home, or
Yes.
wherever you are. And I think that's also important. We're now just corroborating to what you're saying is that, yes, some months you may not afford and you're like, no, we can't be doing this all the time.
Sure.
But actually, give me the tools. What can I
Yes.
do for this month myself
Correct.
within Ganyam?
Yes.
Okay, oh, perfect. For this month, and then
Yes.
Zokbona next month,
Yes.
or in 3 months' time,
Yes.
or whatever the case may be.
And
I
a
love that.
reasonable practitioner will understand because it is
Yes.
about the best interest of the child rather than the randellas clicking away in their bank account. And that's also where you will gauge to see, am I with the correct therapist? Is this therapist the correct fit for my child? Sometimes you think, you need to get it all done at the same time. But you also need to do those dipstick tests. Is this person a correct fit for my child?
Yes.
Because sometimes you've got that occupational therapist, but your child is not necessarily improving. And someone once asked, and I thought, what qualifies you to speak so much about autism? Because I'm a mom.
You're the most qualified, in fact.
And
The most
please
qualified.
and thank you. I am
Yes.
the most qualified.
To speak about autism.
So shut up your face.
After an autistic child or adult, you are the most
Yes.
qualified to speak about it. This is a lived experience.
It is.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
You spoke about something briefly. You highlighted schools, but I'd like to delve into that. I think a big frustration, and we've got a long way to go here in this country,
We do.
is having schools that can accommodate and understand autistic kids.
Yeah.
And that's so important as well. Whether mainstream, remedial, special needs, you'll be shocked how much remedial and special needs schools also don't understand autism. And I think that's the most shocking.
Yeah.
Of like, oh my goodness.
We thought.
So where?
We
If
thought you
not
guys knew
here,
the game.
yeah. What's going on? And that's a real thing where people are not up to date with autism.
Yes.
Even mainstreams. And I think because people, schools are a business and they say, yeah, we can take your kid. And, yeah, sure. Oh, we understand. And then they're like, whoa, okay. So this is happening with your child.
We don't go here with your kid.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
we thought we understood, but we don't know what to do in this situation. And I know a lot of parents can relate to that. And I always say, look, we still have this huge void when it comes to schools. Sadly, that's the case. But again, to use your intuition, Yeah, if you have a school that's judging your child, not understanding your child, not willing to understand your child, it is so important that your child is in a safe environment
Mm,
when they're at school.
mm.
Remember, you leave your child and
Yo,
you go about your
for
business
hours.
for hours. And it is a shame that there aren't enough schools.
Mm,
It is something we need to improve on,
mm,
as a country. It's not right.
no.
But if you can, in the
Mm.
meantime, try. It's so hard to find the right
Yeah,
kind of school that loves your
your
child.
child. And your child love the school.
Yes. Most
Yes.
importantly, that your
Because
child
you
loves.
can be
Yes.
comfortable with the school and be like, oh, it's the best, it's
Mm-mm.
this, it's Ma'am, is that child comfortable to go to that school?
Yes.
And your child's behavior will tell you. This is why I say Tappy mentors me. Because a lot of the stuff I do, I don't do it assuming that it's gonna work.
Mm.
So I wait to see, okay, we've done this shift today, we've done this change. Is it working? Is it not? I mean, talking about schools, even Nandi, the schools that are, presenting themselves as the special needs schools,
Mm.
as you said, rightfully, they could understand your child's needs
Mm.
to a certain degree.
Yes.
And I found when Tappy was at another school,
Mm.
we were very happy and okay, and she was progressing fairly fine
Mm.
until I then realized they're not stretching her.
Mm.
Why am I paying? Because it felt like I was paying fees for a play date.
Yes. A lot of these
It's an
schools are
expensive play
play
date.
dates. Yeah. You're right.
She walked into the school, she knew how
Mm.
to color in.
Mm.
And these were celebrating coloring in 4 years later.
Mm. Mm.
We need to start reading. We
Mm.
need to start doing maths.
Mm.
I'm not saying she's gonna be, the next Albert Einstein. I don't
Mm.
know, maybe she is.
Mm.
But Kaloku, the reason why she is at school is so we start putting all of these
Sure.
elements together. And it was the most scariest period because then I had to now start looking at a different alternative for her.
Mm.
And fortunately, we found something and it works amazing.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not here advocating for parents to now pull all their kids out of school because some, you can't. But I found the best homeschooling program for her. Tappy literally shifted from not being academically, at a place where she should be to now she tells people comfortably, how old are you? She goes, 10. What grade are you in? 2.
That's my girl. That's it. That's my girl.
Grade 2, babes.
Yeah.
So we're doing grade 2 work.
Mm.
And because she's not a conformist,
Yes.
she will tell you very happily, I'm 10 and I'm in grade 2.
I love that so much. Let your child lead, but also
Yes.
what you're telling me is here's a confident child.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they have to go on to be adults. And whatever you did in those years will determine the adults they
That should
are.
become. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And in some spaces, we've got people that we just are monsters to deal with.
Yes.
And because you realize that this person has undergone such trauma in their childhood, but
Mm.
now because they weren't regulated, kakuhle, or I don't know what is lacking,
Yeah.
then,
Weren't
and these
seen,
sometimes these are bosses.
Yes, 100%.
These
Yeah.
are people's bosses.
Yeah.
And you are like, what happened in your childhood?
Mm.
Theno nje.
Mm.
Because now you're a nightmare to deal with. And that for me is one of the greatest things that I want to do, capacitate Utapi Nandi to a place where, and I don't know what shape that's going to look like. I can't determine this is the human being she's going to become. And that is another thing she's bought me and afforded me. This ability to say, let her be the person that she wants to be.
Oh, yes.
And what that looks like. But the only thing that I am responsible for is to ensure that she's got the correct discipline
Mm.
and behaviorally she is okay in society. And number 3, she's got the independence and the voice for herself. Because I'm not always going to be there to skop, skick, and donor everybody and advocate. So I'm training her to understand if somebody speaks to her in a tone she doesn't like, tell them, Nandi, I don't like how you're talking to me. And I don't want to play with you anymore.
Mm.
And that's okay.
Powerful.
So, yeah. Sure.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think also just with the school system, and this is mainstream as well, not only for remedial special needs, is that we can only take so much, or oh, if your kid's too much, well, now we've got a problem.
Yes.
Um, Whereas you've advertised that you are capable of taking care of this
That's
child.
what surprises me.
Yeah, and if there's anyone who has a school, just to say it is very insensitive to really any parents. But can you imagine a parent of a special
Yes.
needs kid, for
Yes.
example,
Yes.
or kid who goes to remedial or mainstream and is different, that you're not willing to do the work, And I do think we need to call that out. It is
should.
not okay.
Yes.
It is not right. I've heard many parents going through that,
Mm.
where they say, "Oh well, we say we can take your autistic kid, but
But not
no,
your one.
not your one." How they're presenting, because maybe I don't know, they stim too much, they're hyperactive, maybe they have ADHD as well,
Yeah.
or they're nonverbal,
Yes.
or whatever the case is, and oh no, and they're not potty trained, and oh my goodness, I know that's a big one as well, where they say your kid has to be potty trained at a
Yes.
certain age,
You get it.
but like even that's
Yeah.
really discriminating against a
It
child. If you're
is.
saying you're remedial or special needs, well, what are you really saying? Because you're saying, oh, we are this, but
But
we this kind of
it's like
special needs and
you're
remedial.
getting like a builder, or constructor, or somebody, any service provider,
Yes.
and then they say to you, "No, but." Just imagine from that perspective.
100%.
You've got your plumber that you've called in. You've got a problem.
Yes.
Then he comes and he assesses, and then they go, "We can fix to a certain degree, but not." Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Yes.
then we plumber.
Yes.
Plumber.
So do
kaloku.
it. You're so right. Do the thing. I've had the privilege of listening to so many parents come to me and tell me their stories, and I'm actually getting emotional even now, where they say, "Nandi, I was in tears because I got feedback, and the school just said, there's nothing we can do." We're not talking about mainstream here. We're talking about remedial special needs schools,
Yes.
where they're saying, "Oh, your child is just too much, and there's nothing we can do." And then the parent thinks, "But okay, so then where do I go? What do I do?"
Yes.
And I just think it's so insensitive. I don't know, like sometimes I become a Zulu and say, "Call them out.
Yay.
Let's do this." One
Yay.
day, actually, guys, you schools must be careful. We have a list.
Because Xhosa
They-
sithi because I mean, what is this?
What is this?
Sinzani.
Like, I am so tempted to have a weekly list. What's in this school? They advertise this, but they're doing that.
But also on that note, and
Yes.
I do also want to say to parents, because I've seen some kids on the spectrum where it's got nothing to do with the spectrum.
Sure.
It's just ill discipline.
Oh, 100%.
So,
Well,
in as much as
that's all
we,
schools, yes.
we want to call schools out and
Oh,
we want to
yes.
call others out, let's take that mirror as well and mirror back.
Oh, and you know what? Actually, that's very profound as well and important, because as well, it's important that we do the work at home. And this is even in mainstream schools, that schools are not there to do everything.
Yini?
Guys, yeah, we need to be parents.
Listen, my twin brother is a teacher, and some of the horror stuff
Well, teachers are psychologists, social workers,
parents.
Everything else. And it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's so true as well. And I love that you said that. Where educators need to be just that.
Yes.
Where they are educating. Yes. They empathize with your child. They've got patience for your children.
Sure.
But anything more is actually your job.
Yeah.
And that's so important.
Yes.
And it's funny because I also come from a family of teachers and principals. And that used to be a big thing where
Yeah.
how Uma or whoever's supposed to come back at 3, but because now someone's not fetching the child, she's there sitting, the child is crying, now she's a psychologist, now she's this, because
And a caterer.
and a
Look, now
caterer.
you can't. The child has been sitting here.
Yeah.
They had lunch at what time?
Yeah.
So in Nimba is our sika. You must make provision
Oh yes.
and feed their child.
Yes.
So yeah,
I love that point. And
discipline
it's very
is
true.
very critical.
Yes.
Mama always loves, because I always say to her, "Tapel, yabona ke uyageza ke ngoku." And yabona le into ayidibenanga ne-autism.
Yeah.
Susigezele.
And that is so
Kini?
true. And I know the thing is close to that. As abantu bami it's like,
Ayi.
"Kunandaba ufune autism
Hey,
wana."
akho autism apha.
Uyagaga-ke manje. And it's funny, they get us. They know. Immediately they're like, "Oh, I've messed up."
Oh, mom is.
And it's so important. Actually, for the parents out there as well. Like, bafethu, khona umehluko, yes,
Hayibo.
between autism and uganga.
These kids are going to pay us. For what?
Yes.
Because you must, my child,
Oh.
umntana
Yes,
story, period.
yes,
And
they'll
you
manipulate
see
you.
that, listen here.
Because bazobona ukuthi hayi le nto wena
Hello?
awuboni ukuthi
Kumhlaba
ngiyaganga.
uyahlela lo. Let me do my thing. Parents, don't get played by these kids, man. Come on.
I love that so much. And you see the progress because they're
Yes.
aware
Yes.
that, oh, no, no,
Uh-uh.
mommy doesn't play like that, or daddy
Yes.
doesn't play like that,
Yes.
or our guardian or Coco, whoever
Yes.
doesn't play like that. Bang, born if lento
Yes.
is
Yes.
me being naughty,
Or
or
it's just,
actually, yes,
yes.
there's an issue,
Yeah.
there's a sensory issue,
Yes.
I'm having a meltdown.
Yes.
And I love that point. And that's why I love it when it comes from moms.
Yes.
They're like, you must please watch them very, very
Watch
carefully.
out. I'm watching you. See me, see you, see. Yay.
Absolutely. What did the shift do for you?
Yo.
Just having a child on the spectrum and now having this incredible organization and
Yeah.
empowering so many of us. What did that do for your life? What has it done?
Sure. Firstly, I must admit, Nance, there was a poem that I came across. I don't know how, but this poem is titled "Welcome to Holland" by Emily Kingsley or
Yes.
Kingley, someone. And "Welcome to Holland" is really just a poem of somebody. I'm assuming they either had their life flipped upside down by something. She doesn't get into the detail, but it's about understanding how to realize that you've been served a raw deal, as we sometimes feel as parents of children on the spectrum, because there's no mom, I always say this, there's no mom who gets pregnant.
Mm.
And because also there aren't any blood tests to determine whether your child is not going to be,
Mm.
autistic or not.
Mm.
So you have this amazing pregnancy. I had the most amazing pregnancy. Listen, I was at the gym 2 times. I was flipping, doing the grid. I was there. The flyers preggy.
Mm.
So I'm assuming I'm making all of these health decisions. I'm really preparing for this pregnancy. I'm excited for this new gift. And then, boom, the devastation of these news. So Welcome to Holland is that it literally jarred me and paused me to just go, wait. Okay, so you basically are traveling, you're preparing to travel to go somewhere. Italy, I think she says, and then the stewardess,
The Netherlands or
then
something,
yes, the
yes.
stewardess then comes on and says, "Welcome to Holland."
Mm.
Can you imagine like the complete shift you need to do? Your wardrobe is not catered for where you are. Maybe if the weather is exactly the same, sure, but if it isn't, you've packed wrong. So if you had summer stuff, you now need to get ready and start making the preparations for where you are. So that's what it was. It opened me up to just understanding that, yes, yes, that hit becomes, it hits you in your gut. It almost takes the wind out of your sails, right? But it's okay, because then we're all allowed to take the moment, take it in, and then go, what next?
Yes.
And the what next determines the playing field of what your journey will look like.
Mm.
And my what next with Tappy, and the family, completely was a game changer.
Oh.
And opened us up to coming up with a concept to say there's other parents are walking this path,
Yes.
and let's all not be Alice in Wonderland. So we're lost. Let's speak openly about it. Let's speak. Let's talk to other parents. And that's why Autistic Gifted and Awesome, was birthed.
Oh.
Just out of a pure need to say, no parent needs to be running around like a headless chicken
Yes.
and not getting the necessary information that they need. It's not fair. We also don't have the time because parents are employed, etc. There's a lot happening in our lives. So it's not like Ngoku, you're going to stop the bus and go, oh yeah, my child is on the spectrum. No, your employer doesn't care.
Mm.
And you
Oh,
either run
yes.
the risk of losing your job and then being there for your child and you can't provide for that child, or you are there putting the mechanics on this airplane as you're flying it.
Oh, yes.
So yeah. So that for me was that poem. I can't tell you the exact day, Nance, but I remember realizing something has shifted in me. And the acceptance.
That I'm going to Netherlands.
Yeah, Netherlands.
Bye, Italy.
Italy and I'm never gonna go to Italy.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna go. And that's ultimately what Emily Kingsley shares.
Yes.
That this is your journey.
Yes. Speak the Dutch.
This is it now. Go learn the Dutch.
Ride the bicycle.
Where?
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what it was. And it really, really empowered me. And just also gave me the confidence to say to people, and especially thina abantu abamnyama ufika umuntu esithi, yeah, hayi man, umntanakho uthene ngathi slow. Fucking Nandi. Call my child slow. She just does things differently. What's the matter with you?
Straight.
Hayi fucking Nandi mna. Ngoku. Pumasilwe. Don't be fooled by the lashes and them, and face beats.
Yeah, because autistic moms,
Sana,
that's
hey,
where
we
my
here.
meltdowns.
Hey, we here. We're ready.
No.
We're going to throw down.
I love that so much. And it's so true, where you have to respect any child in general.
Yes.
But also you picked up on something and said something that, or rather I picked up on something and you said something where the village is important. And the only way you can have a village is if you are open about your child's diagnosis.
1000%.
So you said the next.
Yes.
So you have this moment. Oh my goodness, okay, my child is autistic, but what next? Next is important. Remember that talk I said, my talk. We're not victims here. We have been chosen.
Yes.
We are chosen.
Yes.
God chose us to be their parents.
Yes.
So let's do this thing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to dispel before, this is such a great, we could go on forever. But I just wanted to, I remember actually telling, I can't say the exact doctor.
Sure.
But it was so great. I was saying, a lot of people are talking about this vaccine thing, and this is what there are parents that I've spoken to who've had very normal births.
Yes.
Not like us, where child was distressed,
Sure.
and their kids
On the
are
spectrum as
autistic.
well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there are others who, their child is distressed,
Sure.
and yes, they're on the spectrum as well. But I think what fundamentally is important is that we accept our kids as they are. You cannot go to the past and say, I could have done. No regrets.
Also, guess what? You can't undo that.
Yes.
You can't undo a child that's on the spectrum.
Yes.
So you can go and dwell on the past all you want.
Absolutely.
But I find you delaying yourself. Because the further you're doing the deep sea diving of what happened, what you're doing a what coulda, shoulda, woulda, and it's not helping you because you're also now not getting ready.
Yes.
You're not buying the wardrobe for the Netherlands.
Oh, yes.
Because when you packed up back because you were going to Italy summertime, it was nice. But now you need to get ready. So the getting ready was one of those when Nandi, and you asked earlier, what was the preparation the next? The next was, sitting with the diagnosis and then unpacking it to myself in bite-sized chunks. That's comfortable. How do I navigate this? What does this look like? Because that information can be very overwhelming. And then I had to stop it with the Dr. Google.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I had to stop it with Dr. Google and run very far.
Very overwhelming.
Because I'm like, it's not helping. And also realizing that some of the information that's even out there about autism is not always and necessarily applicable to my child's diagnosis.
So important.
So you see,
there's
this world of information, but you also now need to start taking it in relevance to what your child has been showing you the whole time. So there's spectrum, and then there's your household.
Your child.
And then your child.
Yes.
Then also, the next thing I needed to do was to now educate my family. Because I also needed to build now that council of support. Because I was not going to now do this thing even further by myself. So I had to build my council of support. By educating my circle, I now knew that I was able to leave my daughter with my younger brother, for example, who's amazing with her. And I could leave, them together for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. My daughter is able to sleep at Uncle Jiga's house because it's fun at Uncle Jiga's house. So and it's not going to happen overnight. And I always say to parents, build your support. It may not necessarily just be your brother or somebody within your family, a friend.
Yes.
Educate your people about your child and get them comfortable with one another. And your council of support is critical
It is.
because then you're not able to deposit the best version. And I always say that as parents, we're depositing the best versions of ourselves into our kids, regardless, spectrum or not.
Yes.
So if you're not able to step away from the hustle and the bustle, the consistent,
Yeah.
hamster wheel, you burn out. And because, again, it's a sensory sensitivity, your child is picking up on all of your depletedness and they are adopting that. And so yeah, build your council of support.
I love that. Build the village, be unapologetic about it as
Yes.
well. Use your intuition. You know your people.
Mm.
And you do need that because there'll be moments where you need to rest. That's for all mothers. But I mean, can you imagine, obviously, having a kid on the spectrum as well?
Mm.
You need those moments of, okay, thank you.
Like find what, gives you your woosa.
Yes,
And then come
absolutely.
back.
That
and
is
and
so
plug back in
important because
again,
you
yeah.
become a better parent as well.
Absolutely.
And I've seen you with your daughter.
Because
which
you
is
must decompress. Because then
Yes.
you can't bring that energy here. So
Mm-mm.
you've got to find your outlet. And whatever that
Mm.
looks like, hey, no one can be the judge of, oh, Nandi, decompression needs to look like going to the woods. Andifuni ehlathini, babes. Ndikhulele ezilalini. Andizuya ehlathini. Like, don't trauma me. Childhood trauma me. Andifuni ehlathini.
This is not fun.
I want the
for
city
me.
lights.
Want something different from what I grew
Very
up
different.
from.
So
That is so
I'm not going to go hiking. Just walk her for.
'Cause I was hiking.
And also, if I am hikers, can you ask the people to put like a bar there at midsection?
As
Yeah,
a motivation to get
Because
up.
then I'm going to go. But I'm walking for what? In fact, you're putting stress in my life.
Listen, this is so good for any autistic mom watching this, or mom rather to an autistic child watching this. I know they enjoy themselves so much because we're all just human at the end of the day, and it is a journey. But I think the most important thing is just to empower your children and to love them as they are.
Yes.
I mean, I just recently saw, there's been a few articles, but the one that stands out for me is there's a nonverbal, I guess, child or young man rather, who was then accepted at MIT.
Wow.
Incredible, completely nonverbal.
Get
Had a
out.
single father, so single father who really did everything he could for his child and knew
Raised
there was
by
something
the
in
dad
there. Yes,
even.
by the father, knew there was
Wild.
something special there.
Yes.
And this child has been accepted at MIT because just a genius. And I want to share that story with so many parents that he never gave up on his child.
That's it.
And that's the difference.
Yeah.
Do not give up
Ever.
on your child.
You can't.
Thank you so much. This was
Thank
incredible.
you
You
for
are
having me.
amazing. Oh, thank you.
You are the best.